น่าเกลียดจัง and friend 1 ชั่วโมงว่าเดินแค่ชั่วโมงเดียวเก็บแถวนี้ให้หมดไม่รู้จะไปถึงไอ้นั่นหรือเปล่า สแตนดาร์ดบัตต้นเยอะดิบัตเทิลใช้เอาไปเอาไปโอ้พระเจ้า คิดในแง่ดีนี้จะได้ตัว
Should have listened to me, old lady.
Left, right, left, right.
For the Queen! God save the Queen! To the last! Give me a target.
ด้วยวะบ้าเลย ผ่านเลยไหม
Got a death wish?
หัวมองผ่านแล้วเนี่ยเลย
Again and again and again.
Nilfgaard!
Tell me the jest.
March on, march on. In the tweet!
Yes?
Brach! Scheiß! In Trey! For the Queen!
Off to the front yet again.
My scars? No, they don't hurt.
As you wish, milady.
marble is to your command.
Oh, sorry, turnips back for an encore.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
ชนะกูได้อย่างง่าย
Quiet, or the commissar will hear.
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
Sod it all. Armor won't say.
Brach! Scheiß! In Trade!
Off to the front yet again.
My pain serves a purpose.
Kazer!
Entering the swamp's easy. Trouble's getting out. Entering the swamp. Entering the swamp's easy. Trouble.
In the distance, Meave spotted a spindle-like shape, which soon proved an enormous, dark obelisk. It stood in the middle of a wetland clearing. Dozens of iron rings dangled from its shaft, clinking and rattling in gusts of wind. Cows, donkeys, and dogs were gathered round the stone, all tied to the rings by ropes. Their hides showed many shallow cuts, seeping blood, festering, drawing mosquitoes in swarms. A number of the animals struggled against their cords, while others, near dead, lay still in the wet, tall grass. Across the clearing, folk emerged from the woods, a handful of peasants with a mule in tow. The beast resisted, stomped, and planted its hooves, perhaps sensing its gruesome fate. The queen decided to question the peasants, and soon learned the animals were their sacrifice to the swamp gods.
They're all about, dearie. Very close. Oh, very, very close.
The toothless old woman whispered.
They hide neath murky waters. Can't feed when they hear the drip, drip of blood. The gods look kindly on those what make an offering.
I know nothing of your gods,
Began the queen, her nose crinkled in disgust.
but any that demand such grisly tribute are not at all worthy of reverence. What you do to these creatures is savagery. Savagery I can't allow.
Run us off, you can.
Replied the old shrew.
For as soon as you're gone, we'll come back. As ever, we'll come back.
This I know. So I must take care to leave you naught to come back to.
Over the peasants' howls and pleas, Meve ordered the obelisk brought down. Her soldiers gripped the ropes that hung from it and toppled the shaft. As it hit the ground, it shattered into many smaller pieces.
You say you know nought of our gods?
The old woman's eyes narrowed, her voice grew darker still.
Well, don't you worry your head, sweetie. You'll meet him soon enough. They'll tangle you apart. Sow a pox among you, drive it to madness. Every last one. I curse you, all of you, in Gerdakora's name.
Undisturbed by the Harridan's screamed threats, Meve rode on. But her men whispered long of the curse. It weighed on their minds, poisoned their hearts. Each misstep, misfortune, they saw as punishment for their sacrilege.
May the swamp turn red with your blood! Hail Ingvaardiker! May the swamp...
อะไรของพวกมึงคิดว่ากลัวหรือไงไม่กลัวหรอกโว้ยก็มาเอาไว้ก่อนเนี่ยใหญ่
Stop your yapping and start digging.
ง่ายๆดิmarching order ขึ้นมาข้างบนก่อนเดี๋ยวมันจะอ้อมกัน
Your Majesty, are you well?
Yes. Yes, but the stench.
The hymn. Ooh. จริงก็เป็นบทที่ในวิชาสามที่สนุกมากไม่แน่ใช้ไม่ได้เพราะเดี๋ยวมันวูดตัวเอง19แล้วจะยุ่งจะอัดตัวซ้ายสุดมาอีกแล้วลูนสโตนอันใหม่ตรงสามพิธีเอลเดส นั่นแหละดูดีนะไพ่ในตัวทีมเราเนี่ยแม่งไม่ค่อยมีแล้วแคมป์ไม้พานดีเลยด้านซ้ายนั่นเดี๋ยววิ่งกลับไปดูนี่เลย
In Angren, all decomposes, be it dead or very much alive. Rot blights trees, seeping sores torment beasts, and the whole swamp emits the acrid, stifling stench of decay. So when, in the swamp's distant corner, the Lyrians caught whiffs of smoke and roasted meat, they stopped dead in their tracks. The scouts followed their noses to a clearing framed by a palisade. Through the gaps in the posts, they spotted a small fort.
Any banners upon it? Whose do you see?
Asked the Queen.
There aren't none, Your Grace. Not one golden sun, not one silver lily.
Meve gave the gate a few solid knocks with her shield. Moments later, a dozen armed men appeared atop the rampart. The one who led them wore a beard.
Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Meve, Queen of Lyria and Rivia. At war with Nilfgaard, I ventured into these swamps.
Is there a war on? Hey, that's news. Certainly, but little concern to me. The name's Gimpy Gerwin and I rule these lands.
Is that so? As conferred upon you by whom?
By me! Angren's a good bit larger than folk think. And no duke's or emperor's fingers stand to reach its every corner. Thus I just up and took this particular nook. Made it mine. So let's parley, Meve. One ruler to another. At the risk of being blunt, I don't care who wins this war. But I want to be in good standing with whoever does. So, I offer you a fire at which to warm your limbs. Also, a place at my table and beds for you to rest. On condition, you pledge to me one very small thing. To respect the sacred laws of hospitality.
Oaths I never break, not least because I rarely make them. I don't know you at all, Gerwin, and don't easily extend trust. Thus I can't accept your kind offer, though I appreciate you having made it.
Meve's decision deeply displeased her wet and hungry fighters. For the rest of the day, they dragged their...
ที่บอกเราไม่รู้คำตอบของมีฟอมใจมาก ไม่รู้ว่ามันมีอะไรเพราะฉะนั้นไม่ควรจะรับปากอะไรไม่ห้อยเฮ่พร่อยรู้สึกโอเคกับการตัดสินใจ Let's continueหรือว่าแมวเกาะมัน
Meve stood waiting while her scouts cut through the tangled branches and roots that had overgrown the trail through the swamp. Suddenly, a soldier doubled over and began to retch blood. The same symptoms soon afflicted others in her ranks.
A potent poison,
was the medic's verdict. It seemed all those who'd fallen ill had shared a tent. One night, they'd chattered about an obelisk they'd destroyed and the group of incensed peasants who'd cursed them for it. Fearing for their lives, the footman had gone to a local herbalist. She'd brewed them a potion to ward off black magic. Alas, the concoction had proved poisonous, while the herbalist had vanished without a trace. Happily, Isbel concocted an antidote in time to deliver the soldiers from a certain and agonizing death. The mage explained their misfortune had not issued from a dark, corrupt force, but from simple human wickedness. Her calming voice and gentle smile lifted the soldiers' spirits. Trusting in her care, they soon wholly forgot the so-called curse.
ดูวะทำไงตรงนี้ก็วนถ้าไม่มีอิซาเบลเมื่อกี้ก็อาจจะเรียบร้อยไปแล้ว
Meve rode at the front, her eyes fixed on the ground, and thus spotted the pit masked by leaves and branches. She tugged hard on her reins and steered her mount to the side. Alas, the cavalryman behind her did not follow her lead. Leaves rustled, boughs snapped, and the horseman crashed to the pit's bottom, snapping his neck. Moments later, it was clear who'd set the trap when the forest came alive and a cry rang out.
Come on.
It's a trap! Rally to me!
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
Left, right, left, right.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Mahjong.
Alba!
Have her done in a jiffy.
For the Queen!
Is that why?
Skerke มาด้วย
again and again and again. Army's a waste of time for one like me.
My favourite cut of lamb? Shank.
One boat's all I need. This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad hens.
To thee, ni gloire!
Hey, don't toss that. It's perfectly usable.
Catch! My pain serves a purpose.
Yes.
Make love, not war.
Left, right, left, right.
Looking to dance, mate?
A highly curious case.
Retreat! Fall back!
คิดจะไหนล่ะวางกับดักเองชนะ
Caught between Lyrian hammer and Skelligan stone, Nilfgaard was shattered, destroyed. The victors now stood eyeing each other. These islanders were not like those Meve had met before. They wore no armor and carried no shields. At their fore stood a man as stout as an ox and bald as an ancient ghoul. His men called him Arnulf, the Patricide.
I thank you for your aid, Arnulf,
said Meve, extending a hand.
Aid, she says. Aid? Do you hear that, mates?
The Skelligers exchanged glances, then erupted in roaring laughter.
Not here to help yous, not at all. We're after killing.
Join me and you shall have your fill.
Join nuisance? Just who the hell are you?
Meve, Queen of Rivia and Lyria.
Meve?
Arnulf said, his tone sobering.
I know the name. Lippy Goodman called ye bold, praised your courage to the high heaven. So be it. We'll follow you into fire, wench. Just let us taste of blood. Grant us a death worthy of heroes.
Meve couldn't help but smile, then nodded to accept. The Lyrians stepped aside as tattooed warriors joined their ranks.
Yeah. Không ơi.รู้ได้ก็ไม่รู้
The scouts rode at the fore, with Meve right behind them. Their task, to find safe passage for the rest of the force. One among them probed for the quagmire's depth, a pole of 5 ells in hand. Suddenly, all heard a loud clang. The scouts dismounted, then heaved a bronze statue from the mire. Once it was cleaned of slime and muck, Meave instantly recognized its elven handiwork. The sculpture was exceedingly well preserved, save one detail. Someone had removed its face, leaving a black hole in its stead.
Search the environs,
Ordered Meave. Amongst some brambles, they discovered the entrance to a vast tomb. Its doors had been torn open. On the ground before them lay scattered bones, some yellowed with age, others fresh, cracked and tattered from having been gnawed. Meave stood silent and contemplating at the tomb's threshold. Then, torch in hand, she entered and waded into fetid waters. Her soldiers followed close, arms at the ready, a nervous sweat on their brows. Frescoes on the tomb walls depicted Angren swamps and the beasts that prowled them. 2 words were inscribed over the largest of the horrors, Gwern Iker.
The bloody mistress.
Barnabas Beckenbauer whispered. Suddenly, a roar thundered from deeper inside the tomb. Meave turned from the frescoes to see monstrous eyes blazing in the dark.
น่าสิโอ้โห
To me! We'll not die this day!
God save the Queen!
Ah!
To the last!
Wanna know why I got my scar?
เฮ้ยเนี่ยเสียงของนั่นเลย
It's so dark and wet. Why is it everywhere we go is dark and wet?
Catch!
Ah!
Yeah!
Again and again and again.
Looking to dance, mate?
One boat's all I need.
Ah!
Mahjong, mahjong.
Sod it all.
Ah!
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh. Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
So much anger and suffering. For what?
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
4 5 6 7 8ได้ไหม
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
I think that's the last of them. But keep your weapons at the ready.
ฆ่าไม่ได้
In her torch's feeble glow, the queen examined the beast's corpse. She could not help but to shudder in disgust.
Perhaps it's better
She thought.
that we faced it in the dark.
At the corridor's end, they found a closed door. Before any could draw near, it opened with a crash. Beyond lay a circular room. Light shone through a hole in the chamber's ceiling, illuminating a stone pedestal and the sword that lay upon it.
The air in here. It crackles with magic.
Whispered Isbel. Meve gripped the blade's hilt. A soothing warmth filled her arms and spread across her shoulders. Her tired muscles ceased trembling. Her fingers, stiff as sticks, relaxed. She brandished her prize, the air hissing as the blade sliced through it. She then nodded approvingly. The reward had been worth the risk. Barnabas Beckenbauer, a gleam in his eye, asked to look at the unsheathed sword. The gnome studied the quillions intently, having spotted an inscription there.
Can you say what's written there?
Asked Meve.
Yes, perhaps. They're clear, the words. Their meaning, not necessarily so. Wieldeth me, and loseth not hope amongst the blood-red waters.
It sounds like a riddle, but I've no wish to solve. We should move on, and quickly so.
Within me and loseth not hope among the shuffle an ally into the deck and pay 2 cards from your deck. Không được. Không được work cái này.
Our ballista, your command. Armor won't save. One bolt's all I need. Give me a target.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
จริงเมื่อกี้น่าจะมา
Our ballista, your command. Armor won't save. One bolt's all I need. Give me a target. Our ballista, your command. Armor won't save. One bolt's all I need.
If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Give me a target. Our ballista, your command.
ก็โดนหลอกกันแหละโง่ในสุดก็มีตังค์ซื้อแกสตัน
Beware! The bloody mistress despises those who kill her servants.
Ugh, we're only winter here. Swamp'd freeze over. Kill the skeeters dead.
Milady, you've a tick behind your ear. Looks he's about to burst.
Beware!
Your Grace, the charts say we near Tusley.
Angren renders charts helpless to show the way, I fear. Soon we shall halt to sight our exact position. We will know then if our path is true.
As you wish, Your Grace.
ได้หน่อยนึง
Sensing a limp in her mount's gait, Meve ordered the column to halt. There was a thorn in her mare's hoof, burrowing deeper with every step. The horse whinnied and pulled her leg away, but Meve knew how to calm her. She stroked the mare's cheek, whispered slow words in her ear. She then extracted the thorn without difficulty.
I'm sorry to interrupt,
Said the druid from behind Meve's back.
yet this is where our paths diverge. We've a modest gift to thank you for the road shared, and for your aid at the obelisk to the marsh gods.
Meve wished to respond, but the druids had turned toward the woods, their satchels slung over their shoulders. The queen waited till they were out of sight to open the bundle. Their gift was by no means modest.
The trees no longer wish us here. They call for someone else. This land is sick, defiled by a parasite that grows hungrier each day. Corruption flows from Isgith. It's there an evil lurks. This land is...
Oh, lads, I don't fancy tweets, but you're ever good for pokes, and I'm ass over tits.
Meave and the horseman beside her exchanged a perplexed glance. They'd heard the song clearly, both its tune and its verse. Whoever had hollered it had to be close, and given their diction, rather well oiled. Moments later, a hamlet appeared to the Lyrians' tired eyes. A great bonfire blazed at its center. Around it danced peasants, barefoot, giggling, hooting, joyful and carefree. One by one, they noticed the queen. Soon, all were silent, huddled together, children peering from behind their backs.
Fear not,
said Meave.
We mean you no harm. What do you celebrate? A lad's grooming? Nuptials?
Nay, my lady. Hell yes. The gods have been kind. Filled us nets and snares with game. Come time we thank them.
Yes. You've things to be thankful for.
We do, my lady. And we's poor folk. So a queen. Well, you must as well. Your Majesty, stay tonight, feast with us. There'll be music and plenty of rum by the fire.
Why not?
Began Meave, daintily dismounting.
We all deserve some respite, I suppose.
The Lyrians needed no convincing. With astonishing haste, they removed mail and helmets, then eagerly joined in the fating and dance. Amidst the trilling of flutes, fifes, and fiddles, all those gathered revelled until dawn. They could rest at last, forget about Nilfgaard and the many beasts that prowled among the reeds. They'd long remember that night. The carefree laughter, peasant maids whirling in dance, the ale cold as a mountain spring, and the bread they crisped over the fire. One exchange in particular etched itself into the Queen's mind, an exchange she overheard.
Not a little? Not even a teeny tiny bit?
I'll say it again. It's not your concern.
Of course it's not. Wouldn't be so damn curious if it were. So be it. Keep your silence. But those eyes like the summer sky, that hair like waves of grain. I see the way you gape.
What do you two speak of?
Your Majesty.
Couldn't have answered that better myself.
Who does Reynard gape at?
Ha! The new ballista, what else? Ah, what a piece of work. Pure art, I say. Can't tear your eyes away for an instant.
Ah, the ballista, you say?
Precisely.
And what sets this machine apart from the rest? The smoothness of its wood? Its graceful curves and dainty angles?
Majesty, if we may, I prefer not.
I understand, Reynard. I know men often discuss the qualities of ballistae. Consider me gone.
Meave turned and walked back to the fire, sat down on an old stump.
Ha! That was close. Shh!
And the faintest of smiles crossed her lips. Meave expected the villagers to request recompense for their welcome. But not the slightest mention of coin, and the Queen was much moved by their kindness. Once again, those with the least had proved the most willing to share. The Lyrians did not assemble come the morn. The force marched off in the afternoon. unshaven, unbathed, disheveled. Not normally one to overlook contempt for discipline, that day Meave understood even soldiers needed to let their guard down, at times.
Admire, admire, ample harvest yield, for our mistress all need be kneeled. Round my garden appeared an eager leech, and I offered a drink, Admire.
Ugly bard, play us more your prose. Sing again, we'll dance a bit, and then we'll fix your nose. Ugly bard.
เอาได้ โอเคพอแค่นี้เป็นเนื้อเรื่องไว้เล่นมันอื่นโอเคจบสวัสดีครับ